watching The Human Centipede. Take that title literally. The Human Centipede. This film is probably one of the most twisted things I've seen in a while. And you know what? It's not bad. This film, I think it's a B movie, you know, low budget, but the video quality is still rather good. I think this is the first time that I'm going to actually review a movie without finishing it first. I have about 10 minutes left, and you know, anything that happens at the end I don't want to have on my mind to spoil for anybody. But I really got to talk about this movie because it's different. It really is different. The story of this movie, it takes place in, I think, what is that? The Netherlands. And these two girls, you know, I think they're on vacation. They went to the Netherlands for vacation or something. And they're in a car, and they get a flat tire. So what do? You know, it's starting to rain. You gotta get out, look for help. Don't got a signal. So they go walk through the forest, and they find this guy's house, this old guy, Dr. Heiter. Pale, pasty old guy. He was a doctor, but now he's out of practice. But this doctor is not letting his skills get rusty. He has this sick medical fantasy on creating a human centipede. And these two girls that just came into his house are two pieces to his centipede puzzle. The atmosphere that this film gives off, you know, they've got blood and stuff in there, but it's gruesome, but they don't take it to like the Saw movie levels, you know. They've got blood, they've got a bit of like slicing and all that, but I could stand it, you know. I can't really stand the Saw movies, that's too overboard. It's like he found a nice middle ground with the gruesome stuff. And this doctor, the way he explains how he wants to make the human centipede will just make your freaking skin crawl. Like, he's doing some crazy, like he cuts open their mouth, cuts away parts, and like cuts around the anus of the person in the front, cuts around the anus, opens it up, and like grafts the skin onto the front of the person that's going to be connected to the back of them. So it's kind of like this is the anus, they're like connected like this. It's the person, the guy in the front eats, he crafts into the person behind him's mouth. Eats food, crafts into the mouth. Eats the crap, crafts into the mouth of the person that's connected to them. And this entire movie, you get this sense of desperation, and you just feel really bad for these people. I mean, they're whimpering, they're crying all the time, and this guy, he is so sick. He's treating them like they're his pet. This is a pretty good film. This film was made by Mr. Tom Six. I don't know what he's done before. He's done a few movies before. One called Gay, one called Honeys, and one Love Dries. But this movie, The Human Centipede, will probably be the one that'll put this guy on the map. Mr. Tom Six. This is him right here. Mr. Tom Six, let me tell you something right now. You wrote this film, and you directed it. Now, the two actors you had play the girls weren't very good, But the way you have the film kind of detracts from their inability to act. Especially, you know, when their mouths are all tied up to the anus of the person in front of them. But you made a really good film. And from here on in, I'll be watching anything you put out to see how well you do. You have a lot of potential. It's just mind-boggling how this B movie can be this good, this disturbing, have this sense of atmosphere. I've watched a lot myself. I've watched a lot of B movies. Terrible, terrible B movies. But this film you made, I wouldn't call it a B movie. You need to get that out somewhere. I don't know if I think it's available on DVD. I'll have to check. But this, I will buy. I will buy this, Mr. Tom Six. And if I could, I would love to have a chat with you. Because I'm thoroughly impressed by your work with this film. I don't usually give ratings. That's just something I don't do. I don't really believe in ratings. But, well, I mainly say that because, you know, sometimes a rating detracts from what you actually say. People won't remember what you said. They'll only remember the score you gave it. But this one, I'm going to give a rating. Because I think it deserves a rating. I give it a B. And a B from me is pretty darn good. I don't usually stare into the camera like this. This movie has just blown my mind. It's just sick. But it's a good kind of sick. This is a cult classic in the making. I mean, this is stuff that got Rob Zombie started. This is stuff that got, what's his name? Oh man, what is his name? The guy that made Planet Terror. Man, God, how can I forget his name? Robert Rodriguez. That's how they got their start, from small B movies. This is our cult classic of today. This is the kind of stuff that will be on rental shops, rental online stores. I don't even know we're going to have retail stores for movies for long. But this is kind of stuff that I'll be showing my kids. Like, hey, this movie here, this is what I was when I was a kid. Here, check that cult classic out. That's what it's going to be like. Human Centipede. Just check it out. Get it on Netflix. However you can get it, get it. Check it out. I say it's worth watching, especially for the shock factor. Just be prepared for a mind rape.